Hey, powerful women.
Yes. Today, we're talking a little bit generally about the trend of women in
Comic
book movies, genre movies, and
we're drinking some Earl Grey.
Yeah.
Hot. I guess we're talking about like this wave. Just this year, we've had Suicide Squad last year in 2016, which we had a question about how we felt about the women in that movie. And then in the last couple of months, we've had Logan. We've had a new Transformers 5 trailer because that's out in June, and we have Wonder Woman finally coming out in June. I guess we've been noticing like a little bit of a shift in those narratives from, you know, poor Black Widow still doesn't have a movie. She's never going to get a movie of her own. We still have the Smurfette principal at work. She's the girl one. You know, we even in Batman vs. Superman had just Wonder Woman pop in for her.
Yeah, I mean, we had
moments.
Lois Lane. Lois Lane in that movie is very important to the plot.
Yes, and neither of them are protagonists.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about the whole, like, Obi-Wan picked the wrong Skywalker principle. There's the girl that knows everything, but she's not the chosen one, even though she seemingly has all the tools to be that person.
But now, it sort of feels like we're seeing a little bit of a rise of the teen girl. A little bit.
If we look at female naysayers in genre movies, like a classic one is Ripley in Alien.
Yeah.
Ripley knows what's up. She would kill that one guy to save the whole crew. It's protocol.
Didn't want him on her
ship. Doesn't want her on the ship. If they had listened to her, all those people would be alive.
And it's the same thing happens in Prometheus.
Yeah.
She wants to keep the alien off the ship Charlize Theron, and nobody listens to her.
It's the Cassandra thing. They're not listening to the woman. They're not listening to the teen girl who could save everyone's life.
What's happening?
But recently we've seen a little bit of maybe listening to the teen girl.
Well, I mean, because we have Hermione, right? Who is like the classic, when
Saves
she
their
says
butts.
something, everybody listens.
Yeah.
And we have Katniss also,
Yeah.
who's like the teen girl that saves the world.
Big
And like
YA franchise.
it was really funny because a meme that started to pop up now that Teen Vogue is becoming known for like really like sort of
Hard-hitting journalism.
People are going, every dystopian genre movie and book has prepared me for this moment where teen girls will save the world. And then in the midst of this, we get Logan, which is a movie about the aging superheroes sort of making way for the younger generation.
With X-23 and Laura.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know from the trailers. I tried to stay out of it. I was super excited she was there.
It was fantastic. And she's just such a ray of sunshine in that whole movie. And it feels like she's...
Even though she's super dour.
No, so it's amazing how happy a very surly child can make me.
Yeah.
But like it feels like in that movie and in life, X-23 is like ushering in a new era of storytelling about superheroes in which the girl one is listened to. She's not alone, and she's maybe like the protagonist.
Yeah, I mean, that is the arc of the movie, is very much this sort of like, you know, generations and passing the torch sort of feeling.
Which
we
also got
knew,
from The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally...
Torch passing.
Torch passing, which, I mean, thrilled me. It was so exciting.
This does feel like a little bit of a new development because like one of the things that angered me in a comic book movie in the last couple of years was when they made X-Men Days of Future Past, which in the comics had been a Kitty Pryde story, and she's a teen girl, and they took it away from her and gave it to Wolverine because in theory he's more marketable. Like, that's not true at all anymore. I mean, we live in a world of Frozen,
Sense with his abilities.
and it did not make sense with his abilities. It makes sense with Kitty Pryde's.
It would have been cute, but like, whatever.
But so maybe we're entering into a world and a pop culture like universe in which that wouldn't happen.
Hopefully. I mean, we're finally getting a Wonder Woman movie. Finally.
Yeah. It's taken forever, but we're getting one.
Captain Marvel is slated to come out. We'll see if they decide to do anything else with this amazing female characters that they have. Or maybe we'll just have to keep reading them in comics and I guess keep giving them money.
I mean, it does feel like
Or
the Marvel
not.
Cinematic Universe is like collecting women, but putting them in the background.
Well, everyone has a girl one, just like everyone has a black best friend. So,
man.
yeah, even like in the TV show, because we can have the girl one and the black best friend, but then that's why we couldn't have the Asian guy.
We have the girl one and the
I'm
black
out for
best
you.
friend, and they get together, and then we have
I'm
Iron
watching you,
Fist.
Marvel.
But we also know which ones were the successful ones of those Netflix series, and which one less so. Oh yeah, so we think that there's room for some optimism
Definitely.
in the ways.
Definitely. I think people are getting, tired and bored, and they want new stories. And if women
And we are
women of color
showing
can do new stories,
that
then
new stories with new protagonists make money, which is key. We got to keep showing up for these movies that tell slightly different stories.
Yes. And maybe not showing up for the ones that don't. Like, we didn't actually see Suicide Squad, so we can't really speak to it that much.
Yeah.
I am really excited about the news that Margot Robbie is apparently trying to develop her own Harley Quinn movie that may have a relationship between her and Poison Ivy. Very excited about that possibility.
That would be phenomenal.
Dream come true.
Yeah, because like my impression of Suicide Squad was, well, that's some great Debbie Harry cosplay, and that was about the extent of it. And then, the reviews came out and didn't really change my opinion that much, so...
Audiences are changing. We have new expectations for comic book stories. We want to go in new directions.
They're gonna burn out on the white guy is the most important person in this movie.
The Crisis.
Yeah, the Crisis.
Let's read Alexa Ply with an army. Some teen girls.
Teen
who
girls.
taking over the mantle should be protagonists. X-23 is so hard, right? Like, she shouldn't have an army.
But she kind of has one.
She does have one, and I feel like she should be the leader.
Those girls.
X-23 for general.
Yeah.
Kid general.
Uh-huh.
Done. But Diana as president.
Yeah,
Diana.
we just, agree with that.
Yeah.
We just are always going to do that. If
President
she's an
Wonder
option,
Woman.
President Wonder Woman is always... I mean, I think you get elected as
ambassador.
as ambassador of the UN, and
Yeah.
that's what she is
in the comics.
In the comics.
Yeah.
So she's prepared, that means.
Oh, she's a
She
stateswoman.
knows. She
Stateswoman.
would be an excellent president.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, though? Suicide Squad and our not having seen it aside, I would read Harley Quinn.
Absolutely.
I mean,
she's a doctor.
The origin story of Harley Quinn is that she's like one of those TV doctors who's trying to write like a
Dr.
tell-all
Phil best
book,
story.
like a Dr. Phil type book. And so she goes to Arkham Asylum to like interview all of the villains, and then she sort of gets co-opted into that. So yeah, but I want to read that book. I wanted to read Dr. Harleen Quinzel's book about Batman's villains because I think it would be amazing.
I want that as a comic book.
Oh yeah.
Cheers. If you liked our video, please like our video, subscribe, maybe share it with somebody who likes comic books or comic book ladies.
You can follow us on Twitter. We're at Angel City Sirens.
Next week, we're talking about Lois Lane. Well, I mean, Lois is a journalist.
Yeah, and
award-winning
she's
journalist.
constantly writing, but like I feel like her memoirs would be really interesting.